Yes, so we really wanted to make sure that we got the shape spot on for this one, as we know it had been highly anticipated. And so we, similar to the Hellcat, we got one LiDAR scanned, which is quite a feat for such a huge aircraft. Had to keep moving the laser scanner to so many different places around this huge aircraft to get as much detail as possible. We also took a trip to go see one at Newark. Got to climb all over the top of it and inside it and take thousands of pictures and measure all sorts of little aerials and parts of the cockpit to make sure all of that detail was spot on. It was really exciting when we were in the design meeting and being told that this was got to be my next project. I knew it was like quite a very iconic aircraft, and the chance to do something so different to a normal aircraft was, as a designer, quite refreshing. Something that doesn't have the normal, you know, kind of fuselage, wings and tail plane kind of setup. Was like, I kind of get to create something new and work on it in a different way, and have to think differently about how the assembly is going to be put together. And so obviously when we were revealing the Hellcat, we'd already had the first set of test shots done, and we were able to get a full set painted up and looking beautiful. We are not anywhere near that yet, but we have got to the stage of having the prototype done, which means that all of the design work has been made in CAD on the computer. So we've got all the details and all the parts sorted out, and we've had a one-off prototype made, which is the model that we'll be showing at the IPMS in Telford this year. We are about to start the tooling phase, which is when we send off all the parts to our mold makers and they cut it into the molds, great big blocks of steel, and then we'll start getting the test shots back, and we then go through the sequence of just checking those over and making sure all the fits are right, all the tolerances are right, and refining them until we have the perfect product. A little bit apprehensive for something, actually probably more apprehensive about this than the Hellcat, I think, because of it being, you know, as we're saying, anticipated and being something on people's wish lists for some time. I really want it to be what people want and fulfill those hopes for this kit. So probably a bit more apprehensive than the Hellcat, which we knew was coming as a kind of fun surprise and something no one was really expecting. That this carries a different sort of weight to it, and so yeah, a bit apprehensive but excited, and hopefully it will be really well received. I think we've got some boards showing the way the parts will break down, and I'm hoping that will be quite interesting and exciting for people to see how we've done the wing in 2 parts rather than the old kit in 3 parts, which will just hopefully allow the whole thing to go together a bit easier, a bit stronger, and be easier to clean up, not so awkward. And unfortunately, it's hard to see on the prototype as there's so much detail in the wheel bay and in the bomb bay, which is all hidden underneath. But again, the images that we'll have on the display board showing all of that, I hope will cause some interest. The next step will be to work on arranging the parts in the frames, so that as the mold makers go into cutting the steel, we know every bit is in a really nice and easy position in terms of putting the kit together. So similar to the Hellcat, you're just having to pick up one frame at a time to build all the bits rather than searching around all of them. So a little bit of work goes into understanding the exact build sequence that we're going to go for, and then putting the parts in a kind of a really logical and enjoyable sequence. Once we've got that bit sussed, we give it off to the mold makers, and they will kind of take over for a few months while they're cutting all the steel and getting the first shots. Which is kind of a funny time for me, as the whole thing kind of goes on pause for a little bit for me, but I get to start the next project, which we won't go into yet. And then in a few months' time, we'll get the first test shots back, and we'll put all of that together, all the way with like a micrometer and just making sure that everything is exactly as it should be, and if there's any fits, going and adjusting those and having a 2-way conversation with the mold maker back and forth until we get it right.